Want to be on a video?
For what?
Alright, so I'm going to try a different format for the video today. This is my commute to work. I walk to work every day. Sounds like a big job, but it's not a very long walk. And we're there. Got it made. So we're inside. This is actually the brand studio. This is usually where Devin sits and works. She handles a lot of phone calls and scheduling, and then I work over here in the darker space. So I figured today, since I now have got it made, I want to show everybody kind of what a day is, what it's like, what we do. And I like to come up with like a list of 3 things that I'm going to tackle in my day. And it's kind of like get started early. Right now it's about 8-10 in the morning, right? And I like to get out here early to get this stuff done, because then I can roll right into my day. And I've got my 3 things. So it's like I've got a morning session, and I've got just before lunch session. I usually finish things up after lunch with that second project, whatever it is. And then my third one, sometimes it's hard to get started on it because you think, man, if I start on it right now, I don't have enough time to get all the way through it. And sometimes, like, if you get in that groove and you want to have things just flow, that flow state, right? It's hard to just convince yourself to do it. But if I don't do it, it doesn't get done, right? So anything to move the needle forward just that little bit, that's what we ran into yesterday. I heard a good one the other day that, I don't know, it's a Pink Floyd thing, right? It's just another brick in the wall. Every day is a brick. And if you can make a brick every single day, eventually you're gonna have a wall. So just, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time? I don't know, there's a bunch of different things you could say that mean the same thing. But yeah, into the emails, off to the projects, and I'll walk you through those as we go through today. All right, check out these blue blockers. Yesterday when I was sitting in front of the computer, it was like, man, I don't know if it was the weather changing or just staring at a computer screen this week. I decided maybe get some of these things and see if it helps. I don't know. I've got 2 monitors set up in front of me pretty much at all times, right? And that's what I look at all day. And sometimes we even have the laptop running off to the side if I've got some other side projects going on. So yeah, it stays busy. Got through all the emails. Looks like everything's good. We actually had somebody that requested our ebook, which is a cool thing that we host on our website. So if you go to the website, gotitmadellc.com, you go to resources, you'll be able to see that there's a free ebook, and all you have to do is just go through the link and it'll drop the ebook to you. When that happens, we do get an email just saying, hey, this is being used. Not that I'm tracking anybody or what they're doing, it's just I want to make sure that it's useful. So if nobody's downloading it, why, right? I have to change something. But hopefully people are finding it useful. Sometimes we see people even download it multiple times. So it's like they got it a couple weeks ago, and maybe they got the link but deleted the email. And so they go back to the resources tab, and then they end up finding the link again, and then they get the book again. So funny how that works. But a lot of times it's kind of a cool thing because we can see somebody in the like before they enter our pipeline, right? So it's somebody that has a business and they're thinking about their brand and they're trying to see what they can do to make something better with time, right? And I think we see a lot of it in January and February, and I think that's just because of New Year's resolutions and people setting goals, right? And maybe it's a slower time of the season for some people, and I know we do it in January. I intentionally schedule aside time where I say, this is our time to work on the brand. And what did we do last year? And how can it improve? Where are our blind spots? Where are we missing opportunities, right? And then what did we say we were gonna do last year, but we didn't do it? And why, right? So I keep a list, so that's a really good tip too. Write it down. If you write it down, better chance that you're going to stay accountable with stuff like this. And it also feels good to check the box when you do get something off your list, right? So every single day, I call it the hit list. Some people call it the kill list, right? So my hit list is basically, it lives in our CRM tool, and it lives in basically my reminders on my Apple devices. So that way I'm seeing it on my iPad, I'm seeing it on my iPhone. It's the iMac and the MacBook, right? And right now I have 13 things on my got it made kill list, hit list. And I put them in order. So I've got like the thing at the top, that's priority, right? Or thing at the top is that thing that I've been procrastinating on for like a month, but it takes me 10 minutes to do. And it's been on my list, and why is it still on my list? Let's get it off the list. So almost like what you have to do there is schedule yourself an appointment, like an appointment with yourself, and say, this is a 30-minute block of my day. I'm gonna do this thing today because I don't wanna look at it on my list anymore. I need to get it out of here. So that's one of them right now. I've got somebody that we met with a couple months ago. There was no urgent need for anything until spring. Well, guess what? When you see something like that, a lot of times you put it off. And I put it off for, I don't know, a month and a half, 2 months now. But I think about it all the time. So that's using up my bandwidth, my mental bandwidth. And I don't need to be spending that much time on it right now. Because right now, it's not even a project for us. It's a, hey, what do you guys think about this? And I've thought about it a lot. And I actually went out on a limb and I mocked some things up for them because it is kind of a good organization to help support. So I want to support them. But now I have to structure it, and that's what takes the time. And I've got a couple of vehicles that we need to start on. I've got a mural that we need to start working on. I've got some graphics to install once the weather breaks, and right now the weather is breaking. It's going to be 50 degrees today, and I think that's the other thing that's really driving stuff for us. So these videos have done a lot. We've had people coming out of the woodwork that, I don't know, I don't think we would have talked to them unless you would have seen how Devin and I were talking about our branding in the last 7 videos or 6 videos, whatever it is. And, you know, it feels good to just talk about what we do and talk about what we believe is the right way to do the things in our industry versus the ways that, I don't know, just make wrap shops money, right? So hopefully we just keep offering value. That's all I want to do here. Just offer value. We've reviewed the to-do list. Basically today we've got a brand that that we kicked out a revision to this past week, and it settled perfect with them. The first one, it needed some changes. Totally, that's a normal thing for design. Designers, like, I beat myself up a lot. If I put a lot of something into a brand and I want them to love it just as it lives on the page, whatever it is, on the vehicle, I want it to be first shot, love it, and go on. Not because I want to run into the next project, but I just want to do well, and you put a lot of thought into it. But sometimes you want to make some tweaks, right? And we had somebody that, we had kind of a looser scope for their identity, and there were some things that we like when you do a brand identity with us, we give you like a full survey, and it's like 7 pages, but it's not hard, but it causes you to think about things that maybe you haven't thought about for your brand yet. And I think, you know, letting this one slip a little bit, there were a little bit of the, like, I don't knows that got filled in onto it, and I thought, all right, no big deal, I'm just going to keep on going with it. But what I should have done is said, okay, if you don't know, let's back up, let's jump on a call, and let's talk about it, because I need to know before I start doing things for you. So I plugged in as much information as I had, and I made all of this stuff work. And when we showed it to him, he's like, I like it, but I was like, oh, there's a but. So we went through and we did some revisions to color, and we did some revisions to like the tone of the brand, and with like a couple of days of just going over it and, you know, just making it a little bit more rugged, we kicked out a brand that he was just like, awesome, love it. So we'll be sharing that one pretty soon. That was a cool one. Or maybe I can just do a sneak peek. We'll see. So yeah, so off to the next thing. So the wrap project for the day is this van, just got it yesterday, day before yesterday, and printed what we need. And we're doing this one a little bit different. As you can see, this particular company has very tiny details in their logo. And before we had a printer, we cut those out of vinyl and we stuck them on there, which is a terrible deal. And just for the removal of it too, when they're done with it, and just for the long-term durability for the customer. I mean, we did it because we had to back then, now we don't have to. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually wrap the entire door down to one of these body lines. It's not a brand new van, it's got some nicks and scratches, and it's been repainted on one side. They just need something that's going to be functional, and they do tend to keep their vehicles for quite a while, so I want to use something that's going to be better to remove when these things are at the end of their lifespan. So this is a cast vinyl like we would use on any other wrap, and hopefully this upgrade, it's an upgrade in material, but it actually is about the same price for us, because what I save in time sitting there picking and weeding vinyl, I make up for it by not spending all that time doing those things. I can upgrade their materials for them and do them this way. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so now we're in the print shop, and we're basically working on, we have a vehicle that we need to do matte laminate on. I want to laminate with the laminate that I'm going to use on that vehicle, because it's like when you look at color samples, you have coated and uncoated samples that you can look at for Pantone. It makes a difference if I laminate something versus if something is not laminated. So we're gonna do that next. It's also crazy to me when these things ship, they're heavy. You build in these little things on the ends to protect them. That's what they look like sometimes when they get here. So like, can you imagine like what happened to this thing? But they do their job. You can see me. So I'm gonna cut my sample off. Boom. Figure out a good guess. Feeding it through. All right, so that van wrapped now. Looking at exporting brand that we just finished, all of their logos. So we take their brand identity and all the logos that we had designed, and then we start formatting them for them so they can start putting them to use right away. So we can plug them into Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, all those major social media channels. Plus they can start using them for print. So if they want to start getting hats, sweatshirts, shirts, uniforms, vehicle graphics, of course, windows, walls, floors, all that branding, they'll be able to use them right away. Working on getting this around where we're naming them all and organizing them all in one list. Okay, keeping today rolling, man. So I just got off of a super productive phone call. A couple times a week, we have phone calls with other wrap shop owners where we're just trying to figure out what is going on and if there's new things that we can pay attention to. So, jumped on that call. We figured out a couple of new things with our software. So if you've ever worked with us, you know that our communication is pretty crazy. It's because we use some pretty industry-specific software out there that pertains just to wrap shops, right? And while I was on that call, Devin had a scheduled meeting where a customer had just picked up their new side-by-side and they want it to be custom wrapped. So we're going to be doing that along maybe a few other projects for that client, and then wrapping up that phone call. Got an invite to do a pretty cool podcast with other wrap shop. Well, it's a podcast that pretty much exclusively deals with the wrap industry, and we're hopefully doing some things different enough to stand out where it's interesting. So we got invited onto a podcast, so that's a cool thing. And then Devin had to run straight out the door to head to another appointment to meet with a couple other business owners locally that are doing more things. And a shipment of more vinyl came, so we're keeping the shop stocked. And we finished the logo export for gross removal and demolition. Now we're going to be working on mock-ups for them. We've got a truck and a trailer to do immediately, and there's one of our designers just finished up like a prototype logo for a sponsorship program for one of our clients that we work with, and another one that just popped in a couple of days ago had a logo. It was a GPT logo. Nothing wrong with GPT and logos. They can be worked with. So sometimes there's things that are off. So pointing out some things that might be off to the client, and maybe some longevity issues with being able to use that logo. Like, can you use it for all the things you want to use it for, or is it just a GPT logo? We did a vector trace of it as well, so it's not going to be a pixelated mess. It's going to be something that's like clean, mathematically precise, and this gentleman is way into that. He's sort of a builder, restoration kind of company, so it's got to look good. So now I've got to review the designer's work while Devin is at the appointment, and hopefully finish up a couple of more mock-ups. And it's 2:30. So it's happening. Okay, so the day gets away from you, so we had a whole bunch of good stuff happen today. A lot of things that came into view that we didn't even know were going to happen until the day went on. So just wrapping things up for the day. Devin headed out. She had one last appointment for the day, a pickup in about 30 minutes away, and she took one of the kids, and I've got the other, and it's part of making it, right? Defining that, right? So today was awesome. So much good stuff happened, and I have no idea how I'm going to keep up. It's just one of those things. You figure it out. But at some point in time, my definition of making it is making time for my family and just making time for life, right? And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to finish up this one last design, and then it's going to be Mario Party upstairs with my son. So there's tomorrow to work on all this stuff, and we'll get it ahead. So more progress than I thought I would get out of today, but I always set up too much stuff for myself. So it's been a mentally exhausting day, but it's good.